But I'll just read it. Never mind. It doesn't even matter. Alright. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Or what?
I'm reading
yeah.
Speedrunning Villa.
Hell yeah. Ooh.
I'm gonna get into my reading voice for this one just so it can be all awesome. Mofat was the first one who arrived at the villa. He was ready for the week of his life in this villa with all of his speedrunning friends. He scratched his beard while he walked in. He was wondering who would come. He knew that a lot of speedrunners were invited, but he didn't know who would actually come. Somewhere he hoped that Bonesaw would come. Mofat liked the way Bonesaw put off his shirt, and he liked the way how he danced. He always got that warm feeling inside every time Bonesaw did that. He was so sexy with his Mario hat on and his half-naked body. As soon as Mofat heard the door, he turned around and laughed, because it was Bonesaw who came in. Somehow Mofat got sad, seeing that he didn't have his shirt off. Bonesaw stared at Mofat. He never saw him in real life, and now he did. He had the feeling he could jump on him and have sex with him. Mofat was older than him, but Bonesaw liked older guys. It was time Mofat had a crotch cam in his stream. Bonesaw felt a boner coming up. Hey Mofat, nice to see that you decided to come too. Bonesaw sounded joyful in Mofat's ears.
It does.
Nice to see you here too. Mofat responded as joyful as Bonesaw sounded. What Bonesaw didn't notice is that Mofat was pushing his friend's clothes off with his eyes. The sound of the door busted through the ears of the two. They saw a drunk runner guy walking in on the shoulder of ZFG. Hey guys, do you know where I can find his room? ZFG looked at the two lovebirds in front of him, and a small smile came on his face. Mofat and Bonesaw pointed at the stairs while they both said, I think the rooms are upstairs. ZFG dragged Runner Guy over the floor with him the stairs up. He looked at the hallway full of doors, while he had to decide which door he had to take. He chose the first door at his right and dragged Runner Guy to the bed that was for two people. He was just standing there in front of Runner Guy while he slowly puts his pants off. GFG crawls next to Runner Guy in the bed, and as soon as he had his shirt off too, he licked his lips and stared at Runner Guy. I'm looking at my door like making sure no one comes in while I'm reading this. He licked his lips and stared at Runner Guy, who looked like he wasn't even there. Carefully, ZFG grabbed Runner Guy's pants and pulled it down. Somewhere he wondered why he wasn't wearing underwear. But all of this made it even easier for him. As carefully as he had pulled Runner Guy's pants down, he pulled Runner Guy's shirt up. ZFG came closely to the other speedrunner and noticed fast that they were now spooning.
Notice.
ZFG...
Fast. Nice.
ZFG grabbed his camera and made a picture of them laying there. As fast as he could, he jumped out of the bed and put his clothes on. He grabbed a spoon out of his bag with a letter attached to it saying, ZFG was here. He laid it on Runner Guy's head and ran downstairs, where he saw that Goran Guy and Zivaz arrived from Sweden. Jesus TF2 was there too. Somehow, ZFG saw Zivaz and Jesus as good as partners. He walked down the stairs and greeted everybody who just arrived at the villa. Where's Runner Guy? Asked Bonesaw with a small smile on his face. He looked like he actually already knew what ZFG did, but he was the good guy that didn't feel like telling everybody. The following night, when everybody had arrived, they decided to start a live stream with all the qualities they had. Bonesaw put off his shirt and put on his Mario hat, what made him shirtless Mario. Mofat pointed a cam at his crotch, and Goran Guy drew a penis on his face. As soon as they started to stream and Atarak started to play OOT, and Goran Guy started to go on about how it sucks, Runner Guy came down the stairs. He walked up to ZFG and took a seat next to him. What did you do with me? He asked him while whispering. ZFG gave him his camera and walked away to the kitchen because he had to order some pizza for the crew. He rang the number for the pizza place and waited for somebody to answer. Hello, Tingle's Palace Pizza Place, may I help you? Whoops. Hello, Tingle's Palace Pizza Place, may I help you? Said a girly voice at the other side of the line. Somehow he recognized the voice and wondered who it could be. Tingle? He asked carefully, scared that it might not be her. Oh, so this is like a self-insertion fanfic. Nice.
Yes, you may order your pizza now.
Said the 16-year-old girl that he talked to on Mumble before. Somehow ZFG wondered since when she started a pizza place. He ordered the pizzas everyone wanted and head back to the couch. Before he could even sit down, Runagui walked up to him and dragged him back to the kitchen.
Oh.
ZFG was scared for rejection because it wasn't even needed, because Runagui simply started to kiss him. A warm feeling went to ZFG's body while his lips touched the lips from Runagui. Bonesaw stared at the TV screen where he saw the stream they were doing. Actually, the only thing he stared at was the crotch cam from MoFat. Almost time to do a Luigi's Mansion race when Bonesaw was excited as fuck to do this with MoFat, his secret crush. As soon as it was time, they took a seat next to each other and started the race. After Bonesaw beat MoFat, they stared at each other for a while and started kissing. They had no worries about the people watching the stream. They were both full of excitement. They slowly rolled together off cam and walked together upstairs. Well, now it's time for us to do some Portal 2 co-op, said Zbaz to Jesus. I don't know who either of those are, so I don't know what their voices sound like.
Yeah, neither do I.
Isn't Jesus like Mars or Tasser?
I don't know.
Is Jesus like a
Who
Mars
named
or
themselves Jesus?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm fucking Jesus. Ugh.
He's like actually Jesus and came back from the dead to do speedrunning.
Fail.
I came back.
If Jesus came back from the
speedrun.
dead, dude, he would not speedrun Super Mario 64. He'd like pick a good game, like Big Nose Freaks out or
Jesus.
something.
Jesus is a shitter.
Wait, is the fanfic over?
No, I just stopped because my math is hurting. I can't read for that long.
Well, you better.
Goron Guy was sitting next to Atarax. Goron Guy noticed that he even looked more sexy in real life than he had done on his computer screen. It was the last day in the villa for everyone. Almost everyone was chilling downstairs on the couch. Goron Guy felt bad, because he had the feeling he cheated in Deckstick with Atarax last night. Mofat and Bonesaw were holding hands, and Jesus and Zbaz were finally kissing for the first time. ZFG and Runner Guy were upstairs spooning. And yeah, they all had a fantastic week. But somehow, they were ready for a good goodbye. Cosmo, Fino, and Samurai Man climbed up on the table. All the eyes downstairs were looking at the three. They started stripping right in front of everyone.
Nice.
The laughing downstairs made CFG and Runner Guy come downstairs. They saw the three guys stripping that made them sit next to the rest on the couch. Cosmo made some pots of nail polish open and made it rain nail polish. Goron Guy climbed up the table as well and started drawing some evil candies on his face. This turned Atarax on, and he jumped out of the couch and grabbed Goron Guy from the table. He grabbed his shirt and wrapped it of Goron Guy's body. They started making out in the middle of the room. Normally, this would be a weird situation, but it was the last night that they would have together, and they wanted some time with everyone together. Goron Guy and Atarax rolled over on the ground, kissing and rubbing their bodies against each other. Though we're under their sweat, they decided that nothing could be better than a good anal bonk.
Agreed.
Oh my god.
I do love a good anal bonk.
Yeah.
Goron Guy laid with his pants down on the ground, while Atarax put his penis inside him. They knew it would hurt, but this was the best way to show their love to each other at the particular moment. Will there be a better way at another moment? Bonesaw and Mofat stared at the two on the ground who were making sweet love to each other. Suddenly, Bonesaw puts his lips on Mofat's. "I love you," he whispers while he still has his lips against Mofat's.
I love you.
Perfect Bonesaw impersonation.
Yeah.
Mofat got all warm inside and began to put his shirt off. Everyone knows that Mofat wasn't the best with putting his shirt off, and it was for Bonesaw the first time he saw Mofat's half-naked body. Bonesaw didn't get why Mofat never showed this off, because this made him even hotter to him than he ever was. Mofat laid in Bonesaw's strong dancing arms. Full of love for the 19-years-old Canadian, he turned around and pulled his pants time. "You're sure?" whispered Bonesaw in his ears. Yes, answered Mofat with a soft voice that kissed Bonesaw's ears. Sweat came from Bonesaw's head while he put his penis in Mofat's ass. There was always such a weird relationship between the two of them, but they were somehow perfect for each other. With Mofat's sexy homeless beard and crotch cam, and Bonesaw being shirtless Mario, they rolled up the couch and landed next to Atarax and Gorongai. This was turning Zebaz and Jesus totally on. They pulled out their penises and started jerking off on what was happening on the couch. Everyone knew that this was the best goodbye ever. ...
Why didn't that shit happen at SGDQ?
That's probably what happened at SGQ.
What?